Hello, beautiful souls. Are you ready for the big wealth transfer that is going on, or are you going to fall down whenever it's going to happen? Are you going to lose faith? Are you going to sink, or are you going to surf the wave? That's going to be the topic of today's video. And I basically want to talk about what I understand from the wealth transfer. I want to talk about a feeling, genuine feeling that I'm carrying inside of my heart. That I want to share with you, and I want to talk about some mistakes that I've made in the past, and I hope that these mistakes can give you the right insight to avoid making these mistakes. I think they are very important. I think this video might be very important. Every time it feels for me important when I'm trying to speak straight from the heart. First of all, I want to say that I have the feeling. That is a feeling. In this video, I'm mostly going to talk about my feeling, right? Things are accelerating right now. I was reading a book the other day, and they talk about the end times prophecies from various cultures, also the Mayas and stuff. They were saying from 2024 till 2029, there will be a big acceleration, and the energy field of the human being is going to change, and we might even get like different abilities, because a lot of humans, like the DNA of humans has like a very big part of that DNA is, we call it in science, junk DNA. And this is basically DNA that is off, that is not on, that is off. We don't know what the purpose of the DNA is, but what if a energy comes to Earth, which can activate the DNA, which suddenly opens your mind to new realities, right? I think that's definitely possible. Maybe that has something to do with the wealth transfer, but my genuine feeling that I feel deep inside of my heart is that things are accelerating, things are going to happen really, really fast, and I feel the urgency. There is an urgency going on. There is an urgency for us to take responsibility. There's an urgency to basically to develop ourselves, maybe to make the switch, maybe to make the transition to a new world, right? I think there's definitely something is really cooking, and I don't have the prophetic dreams really. I might had one experience that I can share with you guys, which was very interesting. That might be one experience, but I really think the experience of other people, like a Brandon Biggs or Now Daily Bread, these persons, when I watch these videos, it resonates with me. I really feel that these persons are telling the truth, and I want to trust my feeling in that. Sometimes I've been wrong, and I would completely accept that, but in the end, everything has a reason. So far it has helped me. It's grabbing my attention. So definitely. So let me first start with my dream that I once had, that I can share with you guys. Maybe it's interesting. It has nothing directly to do with the wealth transfer, but this was my only experience of, let's say, something prophetic, something profound, something actually that I couldn't explain, right? So in that dream, I actually was. Yeah, it sounds maybe a bit weird, but I was actually not in my body, and I was looking from a very big distance. I was looking to the earth, and the earth looked super dark because it had all these black clouds around the earth. So that was what I've seen. So I was like, wow, what is that for depressed situation? What's going on there? And I remember that I then later wake up, and I really felt like, whoa, that was like, because it was so clear. I was feeling like I was myself. That was the crazy part. Sometimes when you're dreaming, you feel like you are dreaming, right? And sometimes you realize that you are dreaming, you have these lucid dreams and so on. But this was not the feeling of a dream. This was the feeling of literally me standing, like being from a distance, and just looking, seeing exactly the whole world, but seeing just black clouds around the world, right? And that just actually what did I want to say with that? Yeah, that was my first reality. So that was my first moment where I had something like, okay, something okay, that was weird. That was really weird because it felt so real. And maybe that is something similar that these other people have when they see these prophecies. I actually don't know. Maybe they do have a dreamy feeling. I would love to talk with some, maybe also on the channel, and like discuss about these things. Um, but what has that to do with now? Well, we all know, and this is also, I think, what makes these times so important. I think everyone that's watching this channel right now, as at least with the recent videos, they all feel that something is going wrong. We have seen 9/11, we have seen COVID, we might have seen stories about Egypt, about the pyramids, about reptiles, about aliens, about Graham Hancock, you name it. There are so many theories out there which are very strong, where is a lot of evidence for, and which is not accepted in mainstream science, which makes you think, right? It actually makes me think about two things. The first thing is they making so much effort to completely control the world and its citizens and nature. They completely want to control, even control a narrative, even want to control what you think. But that makes you wonder, because if they really would like the control, or they want to have the world for themselves, why don't they just kill everybody and just like live happily ever after on the planet? That's because, and that's what I feel, they need something from us. They need something from us. I don't know what it is. I've heard in the past stories, it's like Lush. There's like a theory that they need Lush or something. That's possible. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the truth, but I can understand that if you like a psychopath want to control somebody else, you want something, you get something from that person. Why would you need that person? Why would you need to control that person? And I think that is happening in a society, and it has been happening for the past decade, maybe for the past 100 of years, maybe. And that is now coming to an end. I have the feeling that is right now coming to an end. And I think that wealth transfer, the story of the wealth transfer, fits in there, because the story of the wealth transfer, as it is mentioned in the Bible as well, is going to transfer the wealth from the wicked to the righteous. And I know this sounds really like woo-woo, where we have been discussing about. It sounds really magic. Maybe it's not that magic, because maybe we just have a very limited vision on what the true reality is. I know if you take some psychedelics, which I've did in the past, you also change your mind on what reality actually is. Right? You can say, yeah, but people hallucinate and they will see things. Well, why do all people see the same things when they hallucinate? Why do we always see recurring geometrical patterns? Maybe the universe is built out of geometrical patterns, which in our interface right now we will just see as a 3D reality, but in fact it might not even be a 3D reality. That's why metaphysical elements are also can be very impactful. Sometimes you can do an action which has an invisible reaction, which again will become visible again. Maybe this sounds a little bit weird, but let's go back to the wealth transfer. Maybe the wealth transfer is coming in this time and age to indeed, because we need a transition. If we want to go from the old ways which were not working, and we want to go to a new world, there needs to be a transition of wealth, because the power of the wicked, let's say it like that, the power of the wicked needs to decrease. Right? And the power of the righteous, the ones that are going to build the new earth, that are going to use the money for good purposes, that are going to share the money with people in need and stuff like that, they are needed. Right? So maybe there has been a very big imbalance in this wealth distribution on the planet, and like in the past 100 of years, a lot of negative psychopaths are having that wealth, which right now will be transferred to new souls who actually came to this earth with that specific purpose to facilitate in this wealth transfer and to make it happen. And maybe you who are watching this and me, because we are having this feeling, that's why we are here. So what can we do? Like I said, I think it's important to have the discussion open. That's what I think important. Everyone who's thinking like, okay, what this guy is saying completely doesn't resonate with me. I can completely understand that it doesn't have to resonate with you. I can understand that for some people this might sound strange, but do take in mind also for the people that don't understand it, there is a very, very big group that will exactly understand what I'm saying right now here. They will, the very big group, I'm 100% sure. And then for the ones that don't understand what I'm saying and don't feel what I'm saying, ask yourself the question, how is it possible that such a big group, and this group is growing, it is not shrinking, it is growing. How is it possible that such a big part of society is feeling this? Am I missing maybe something? Am I blocking my am I blocking my vision for a potential outcome? Right? If you were that person, I make sometimes this analogy, like if you were that person that always say, yeah, man, I should have bought Bitcoin earlier, but you don't buy it now, and then 2 years later you say again, yeah, I should have bought it earlier, but you then don't buy it now again, then you are probably, and I don't mean it in any negative way, but you are probably a person that is not too open-minded for that idea. That maybe find it very difficult to make a decision based on your inner knowledge, on your inner knowing, on your intuition. Maybe you are more stuck in the patterns of the mainstream news, the mainstream society. It's more a program, like. And like I said, this is not judgment. I don't mean it like to judge. I don't mean it's negative. But maybe there is a bigger program running that is more leading your decision making than your intuition. Possible. I think, just think about it, okay? I'm not saying that that's the case. Just think about it. Back to the wealth transfer. Things are accelerating, and let me know in the comment section if you feel that as well. 2024 to 2029, things are really going to accelerate. Why else do the WEF and stuff like that have the agenda 2030? They know exactly what's going to happen, and they want to prevent that. We can see the acceleration of regulations also in Europe. Things are really the taxes are going crazy, inflation going crazy, and this process where we are seeing the current system fail will go exponentially. So it will start off, it will go up, same like inflation, then it goes higher. So then we see inflation, regulation, maybe wars, and then it will go exponential. So then in one day, we will see a change that we normally see in 10 years. And then the next day, we will see a change that we will normally see in 20 years. So that's why we have to be prepared for it. Whenever this happens, there's basically no time to doubt anymore about this. That's what I feel. We cannot doubt about this anymore. Even though if it's not true, if this is false, this is not the truth, it doesn't really matter. It's just a couple of years, right? You will eventually learn from it. But what I feel, even when I'm saying this to you, I'm already getting the goosebumps. There is no time to doubt. There is no time to doubt and to think like, is this really going to happen? No, we gotta act now. We gotta really act now. What is important? What are important steps? Well, first of all, I want to say that with that wealth transfer, you gotta have a certain faith, right? You gotta have a certain faith. Sounds very religious. I don't mean that in a religious sense. You basically got to develop your own intuition. That's what's really important. And how do you do that? You do that maybe by sitting in silence, meditate, pray, do yoga, pick up some spiritual practices, be less on Netflix, or maybe no Netflix at all. No, not watching the news. Don't be stuck in fear, but be more in silence. Right? Listen to that inner voice in you that tells you maybe like, or maybe you want to help this person, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should give a compliment. I don't know. Your inner voice will, if you're really honest to yourself, your inner voice will always say something, and it's up to you whether you listen or not. But when you listen more to that inner voice and then to that intuition, and you will execute on that, you will see that you will get more trust into that. You will cultivate that feeling, and that is the same feeling that brings people to this video. and that's the same feeling that make people resonate with what I'm saying. So that's why that inner feeling is so important, and that's the same as faith, because when that inner feeling is high, you can execute easier. So when you, for example, listen to me, right? Wealth transfer, crypto. We need to invest, and we need to self custody. You'll be like, okay, yes, I'll do that. But you do that because you listen to me. And then later, maybe crypto corrects. And then you think like, I shouldn't have listened to this guy, right? And then you sell it again. That is what I mean with faith. If you have your intuition that is growing and that is developing, you can make these decisions. I can influence you by coming into your world, and like giving you certain ideas, and you can feel whether that's resonating with you, yes or no. But eventually you make the decision based on your intuition. That's very powerful. That's more powerful than just listening to somebody and then basically put the responsibility on him, follow him. It's not nothing against following, but it should resonate with you, and it should be your own choice, and you should feel that choice basically deep in your heart. That's what I think. So that's maybe one of the most important things in this time right now. Because there is no time, develop your intuition, and that intuition will grow, and that intuition will tell you exactly what to do. It will tell you to hold in difficult times. It will tell you maybe where to go. It will bring you to the right people. I think that is very important, and that intuition for spiritual people, religious people, maybe intuition is a relationship with God, right? So I'm just going to make it very broad right here. I'm just calling it intuition that is growing, but maybe that is the relationship that is growing with God. I'm open to these ideas for sure. But just to speak to a larger group, because I know not everyone is religious, not everyone is spiritual, so we have to reach a bigger audience, right? So yeah, guys, that's maybe the biggest tip I can give. Increase and develop your intuition. That's exactly what brought me to XRP, and how I could double or triple my portfolio in a matter of 2-3 weeks, right? So that was for me also very significant, because I actually, and I've said it in the past, I haven't been pro XRP at all, and I'm not even sure whether I'm pro XRP right now. It draws me to it. I love to talk about it. I see possibilities. I see chances. I feel something is happening, and yeah, like I said, I don't know the truth. I'm open to the idea that this is going to facilitate the wealth transfer. I'm also open to the idea that it could be the mark of the beast, right? I'm not claiming to have the answer, but I know that I will get that answer the more I develop my intuition, the more clearer I will feel what is right and what is not right. So we go to the next part, where I actually want to talk with you guys a little bit about manipulation. Manipulation, not in the sense of market manipulation, but manipulation in the world. And the whole world is being manipulated. You probably already see it. This happens through news. This happens through many things. Manipulation is very difficult to recognize. I've been in situations where I'm being manipulated for a very long time and did not even recognize it, right? So this is also a process for me personally, that I have to learn to recognize manipulation. But it's very important, and this has a lot to do with crypto, because in crypto there is a lot of manipulation too, and the emotional state of crypto is also very involved with your own emotional state, which makes it more prone for manipulation. You really have to realize this. You know what my biggest trick always is in terms of manipulation is never listen to the story, to the words, or to the emotional side of the story. You can listen to it, but just put that on a separate plate, and then just look at the actions. Just look at the actions, not at the story. Just look at because the story, as an empath, if you are an empathic person, every story can make sense to you. So if someone like choked you to death because he felt so bad about himself and blah blah blah, if you are an empathic person, you will be able to rationalize it for yourself. Yeah, but this person was like, he was so sad, he was so depressed. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say. So if you just look at the fact, one dude is like choking you, or one dude is stealing from you. That's the fact. The story doesn't matter. The fact is, he or she is doing something wrong to you. How are you going to react on that? Right? I'm not talking about revenge or anything, but you just have to see it, because once you see it, it will no longer come to you. So why has this a lot to do with crypto? Because crypto scams are all over the place, and if you are coming here for the wealth transfer, and you are trying to get some wealth and distribute that to good people, you have to have a good knowledge about which people are manipulating, but also you don't have to lose your crypto along the way through scams along the way. So I'm going to talk about some scams with you, and I'm going to show some that are very, very, very intelligent, and I myself actually almost felt multiple times for a scam. So I'm going to start off with the basics, right? In the comments of this video, there will be many people saying like, I got 2 Bitcoin from Mr. blah blah blah. What is the fact? The fact, this is not the story, yeah? So we look again at the fact. The fact is, somebody in the world sitting behind a desk, watching a YouTube video, putting a comment under there that he or she earned passive 2 Bitcoin, or I don't know how much money. Why in the hell would that person sit on a computer, share these details in a YouTube video? That's already ridiculous. Like, if you look at that fact already, it is ridiculous. So don't look at the story. So many commenters are scams. You have to be very careful for that. There will be on Discord, there was one person that actually sent me a message. Hey Jeroen, I got a private message, and that account looks very much like your account. It's a scammer. So there will be people who make an account similar as to my name, right? But they won't have the verification badge or something. But they will reach out and they will ask certain things, but it's not me. That's already a little bit more smarter scammers. So that's already crazy to imagine that somebody actually sitting on the computer, right? And they actually try to impersonate somebody else and try to, with a personal or like connection, try to scam that other person. That's already actually pretty shocking that's happening on a big scale, especially in crypto. So these are the more simple scams, and the one thing that you should just know, if it sounds too good to be true, and yeah guys, drop a like, can I pop it? If it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. The second thing is, never click on links that people send to you. Never click on links, because the link, if you click on a link, that is when they can install malware and stuff like that. I'm going to share a personal story with you guys, because I'm aware of all these things. I've seen many scams, I've seen many people being scammed, and I know a lot of stories. So I would think like I don't fall for it anymore, right? Well, I was wrong. So the other day I got an email on my YouTube email, and actually there was an email from a guy, actually from a podcast, and that email looked very much like the original email. So it was not an @gmail.com, it was basically an @domainname.com, and it was a famous podcast, and this person had a very detailed personal message to me where he says like, hey Jeroen, the things that you made with Whirlpool are really insane, like the sentiment heat maps, they are really they are very unique, and they offer traders really good data to make better trading decisions. Would you like to be interested to come on our podcast and talk about that? Of course, of course, I would love that. I was like, I was really, because I checked the podcast. They had like 100,000 subscribers, many views, and it was a very serious, well-known podcast. So I was very, very excited. So I was replying like, yeah, of course. And they had like a Calendly link, right? So I make an appointment through Calendly, and I make an appointment for a couple of days later, something like that. So I didn't heard anything, right? So I start to do some more research. I start to look at these websites, and everything actually looks pretty legit. It actually looked pretty legit. And then there was even a Twitter account of one guy. And then I clicked on the Twitter account and look at the Twitter guy, and then I was like, okay, why is in his bio not any affiliation with that podcast? So I was like, okay, I'll send him a personal message. Hey man, I just got an invitation. I made an appointment. Everything all right? Did you send that email? I was saying like that, and didn't got any reply. So I had the appointment in a couple of days, right? So, and then I didn't got any reply, and it started to think, like, why? They sent me an email, but they don't reply to the email. They didn't reply to the Twitter message as well. But I made an appointment on Calendly. Then I start Googling, and then I see everywhere Calendly scams, and I was like, oh my God, did I fall for it again? And then, yes, the moment, like 1 minute before the Calendly meeting, I get a message with a link to the meeting. And of course, that link was not a Google Meet link. It was a malware link. And of course, I did not click that link because I actually on time recognized that this was a scam. There was even another guy I read on Twitter the other day, also very sophisticated scam. He got a personal message from somebody saying like, hey, we have a Discord community, can you maybe help out a little bit, you can earn some money. That guy was like, yeah, probably I can help out a couple of days per week, so you can get some money, right? And then the guy was like, sent all these files for, like, it was about a game or something, and he needed to install the game to get to know how that game works a little bit so he can be more active in the community. He knows what he's talking about, right? But the file that he actually installed, that was that malware, but they had already quite some interaction and quite some contact, right? So the guy trusted the other person but installed the malware, and then he was like, okay, this is a bit weird software, there's no game, nothing is launching. And then 2 hours later, all his wallets were drained. And that comes to the next part. That is the wallets that are connected to your browser, right? So the link clicking is very dangerous when you have wallets connected to your browser. If you have a hardware wallet, this is where cold storage comes in. It is actually not possible because you cannot only with an internet connection drain somebody's wallet, because you need the physical device too. You need the internet, the program, and the physical device. But a scammer, just an online scammer, doesn't have access to that physical device. So there are I've heard some things that they can change wallet address. So the moment you send, they can, like, there are definitely some things possible, even though with cold storage wallets, but it's way more difficult and you're way more safe when you have cold storage wallets. And another point that I want to mention, guys, and this is maybe something you don't directly realize, but we talked about it before, emotions. And this is not only emotions of fear, which can be very harmful to you, but also emotions of greed. And I've personally, first place, experienced this a lot, that you always want more. And Dr. Wayne Dyer always said, and I always listen to that quote, where is the peace in the word more? There is none. There is none in the word more. And you got to be careful that, for example, like, I also heard a story the other day, and I know it for myself too. Like, let's say you have a couple of $1,000, you suddenly double it, right? You have just X amount of money, you double that amount of money. That's a blessing. That's a big blessing. But you go to Twitter, you go to YouTube, and you see other people, they tripled or they 10x their money. and you become greedy. You like, yeah, I just doubled my money, but they did actually did 10x. Like when you, if you recognize this feeling inside of yourself, that's very, very dangerous, because your gratitude completely leaves. You just doubled your money, basically. You doubled your money, but you're not grateful because someone else 10x his money. That is a very big warning sign, because the decisions that you are going to make afterwards are not going to be good. They're going to be very emotional, and they are going to be based on greed, because you might think like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? The money that I doubled, I'm going to put in a meme token that can do also a 10x, right? So you're going to gamble that, or you're going to use high leverage and then trying to get higher returns because it doesn't go fast enough for you. This is very, very dangerous, because you risk losing everything. While in the first place, if you wouldn't even look online, if you wouldn't have even opened Twitter, you would still be blessed. You would be so blessed. You doubled your money. You got some wealth. You have some things you can do with it, right? But this is also what I want to say with this, guys, is it's a very normal emotion. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with you. Everyone experienced this in crypto. Every single one. And it's very difficult to deal with it, because probably if you think back about the times that you were broke, you think like, hey, damn, I was actually broke more happy than when I had a lot of money. I don't know if that's the case. Sometimes I can feel like that. So it is the relationship that you have with money, the relationship that you have with gratitude. Like, how grateful are you actually for your situation? Like, just maybe sometimes sit still and think about that. Where did you come from? What do you have now? Where can you be grateful for now, instead of looking of what can I have more? What can I have more? Don't be too greedy. If that wealth transfer comes and you are in it and we are in it, there will be plenty for every single one of us, right? There will be plenty for everybody. So being greedy and wanting more can actually become a burden, and can become a blockage for you to actually receive what is there for you. So these are basically the most important points that I think right now going on. I think most importantly is grow your intuition. Share it in the comments if you want. Do you also feel the urgency? Do you also feel things are accelerating right now? I definitely feel that. I see it everywhere around me. I can't also like explain it too much in words. It's maybe only a feeling, but things happen so fast. It's accelerating, and I don't feel this is going to stop. This is going to continue. It's going to continue faster until we reach that point, that tipping point, and then we are going into a complete other direction. And to be able to go into that other direction, you gotta be able to listen to your intuition and to have a peace inside your body. And there's no peace with scams, losing money. There's also no peace with greed and always wanting more. So yeah, guys, that was it for this video. A little bit different, of course. Later I want to talk about more what I think, which cryptos are there for the wealth transfer, because what my idea a little bit is, we hear a lot of XRP, we hear a lot of XDC, XLM, and we have seen these cryptos going up, and I think there is definitely some significance going there. But what I don't really understand is what role Bitcoin is going to have, or other cryptocurrencies, because some people actually, I heard some people saying that the whole crypto market can collapse as well, except for couple of, Brandon Biggs said it the other day, right? All the cryptos will collapse except for five cryptos. So if he says more about this, let me know in the comment section. I'm very interested in that. And let's just look for the truth. And if you have anything to share, or you want me to make a video about anything, join Discord. The link is down below in the description. And just share what you want to share. and you can meet other people over there if you want. And yeah, guys, want to thank you all for watching. I want to wish every single one of you a very beautiful day today, and I hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.